Captain, incoming message.
It was the dawn of the third age of mankind.
Groovy.
Hi-ho. This is me, Kermit the Frog.
Hello there.
Moopsy.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Not a great plan.
Program complete. Enter when ready.
Let's see what's out there. Engage.
Hey there, we're those sci-fi guys, and this is Those Sci-Fi Guys show. Just two working dudes, different lives, different jobs, but a whole lot of love for science fiction and the fun that comes with. We are your hosts. I am P.S. McKay. And yeah, that being said...
Someone once told me that time was a predator that stalked us all our lives. And I rather believe that time is a companion who goes with us on the journey. Reminds us to cherish every moment. Because it'll never come again. What we leave behind is not as important as how we've lived.
That being said, couldn't be said better than myself.
And I'm DT Cavman, and I saw his pajamas.
You're at the Pop Culture Museum. That's right. DT. So, to those who are not paying that much of attention, although Dave from the Sci-Fi Guys was really quick to point out that the Archer episode we published seemed out of date. And I'm like, damn it! We have been off on hiatus for about 2.5 weeks now, something like that. It's been a long break, actually, that we normally take. And
it's actually been a long road getting from there to here.
Oh, look at that. Look what you did. You drew it in. Nice job.
Oh, my. Dude, I'm just realizing I should really pull up. I'm like, oh, I'll just send you a couple of pictures. And then I'm like, oh, I took like 50.
Yeah, good luck going through them all.
No, I already found what I needed.
Well, yeah, okay. So, yeah, send them through. I'll see about getting them uploaded to the folder. Anyway, so that being said, we're back and better than ever, everybody. Yeah, so DT, the whole hiatus was really not your fault. It was well deserved, but technically it was your fault.
Sure,
you went off on you went off on an excursion to the north, as we mentioned in our 4th anniversary episode, where we did our 4th anniversary with you in a hotel, an undisclosed location near the Queen Anne district in Seattle.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
And we were able to talk a little bit about that. But the whole thing was you were going on a cruise to Alaska. I've never been to Alaska. You were there once. You were intrigued. But
I was there for training.
You were there for training. I know.
20 some odd years ago. And
yes, that's a lot of photos you sent me, asshole. What the fuck?
You can pick and choose. That's why I sent it. You can choose whatever you want, but there's a couple.
That's a lot of photos, dude.
I just admitted that.
Jesus Christ. I don't even know where to go. Like, it's not even giving me a chance to scroll.
Oh, well, then I can help you with that. But there's
anyway, keep going.
It was
a lot of photos, man.
Well, I mean, I could try to send them one at a time.
Here we go. Shit. Stop sending more. Stop.
I'm not.
I'm working on it. Oh my God. I'm getting all the photo notifications. Stop it.
I haven't
Stop.
done anything. I haven't. They all just came.
Jesus.
Anyway,
That's what she
yeah,
said.
so
Stop
we went
it.
to-
God damn it. I'm sorry. I know you're probably not, but I'm getting message. Every single photo you've sent me is sending me a notification right now through Windows.
apologies.
So
I sent them in
how many photos
groups.
you sent? 30? 31.
Yeah,
Son of
well,
a-
I was originally not going to send all those, but I'm like, oh, he'll like this.
My
he'll
God.
like this.
Well,
I
let me
probably
know.
should have just made a collage.
Start talking because I'm just going to have to click through this shit because it's not going to stop until I click through all of
right.
them.
The relevant for those sci-fi guy fans, the relevancy is in order to do being a West Coast, being an East Coast guy like me, an Alaskan cruises, we had to go to Seattle. So we flew out to Seattle, and because, air travel and whatnot, you're talking about multiple different types of conveyance. So we decided to go out a few days early. We stayed out in Seattle, and we wanted to do the Space Needle, which was really cool. First, you think, well, it's going to be kitschy and touristy, but it is awesome.
It is pretty awesome. I have been to Seattle myself. It was almost 20 years ago, and I hate to say it that way, but the Seattle, the Space Needle was fun.
You get up there, and you see a beautiful surround of not just because it's a bit on it's raised a little bit where it is. Because like the rest, it's right there before parts of Seattle start to slope in towards the harbor. It has a little mini San Francisco vibe right there towards the harbor where like all the streets just kind of like go downhill towards the water. Anyway, but you're in the top of the Space Needle, of course, and it's towering over everything. And you're looking out over Elliott Bay and into Puget Sound, and there's mountains everywhere around Seattle. And then you can look and see looming in the distance, like Mount Doom, is Mount Rainier. And it looks, and it's massive.
The non-locals refer to it as Rainier. Just FYI.
Right. Mount Rainier Wolf Castle. Got it. So we, just out of curiosity, I'm like, and everybody's like, it's so wild. I'm like, yeah, that thing dominates the skyline for the entire area. And so we were like, well, how far away is it actually? 78 miles from the Space Needle to Mount Rainier. So that I tell you, it loomed huge. But right at the foot of the Space Needle, there's literally a 2-mile monorail track that goes between the Space Needle and like over near where the Pike's Place Market is and stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's only 2 stops, the start, the finish, and it just goes back and forth.
Prominently featured on an episode of Frasier, by the way.
Right. And you also have, of course, the wonderful Simpsons episode, Marge versus the Monorail, guest star Leonard Nimoy. And of course, as we're getting on, the 3 of us who are big Simpsons fans, at least my kid and I are going,
Monorail. Monorail. Monorail.
So we got up and we went to the Space Needle early, which was the smart thing to do because we got swamped. But I'm up there, we moved in pretty easily, made our way up, walk around, take pictures, do whatever. Ate at we didn't go to the restaurant, which was closed at the time, but they had a little cafe. It was 9:30 in the morning. I had a Space Needle beer.
9:30 in the morning? You're on vacation. I know. I'm not judging, but
it was 12:30 my time.
That morning beer, man.
We've been there only like 12 hours.
Oh God! How did you stay awake till lunch? I can't do it. I just can't do that
Walking
morning
over the
thing.
glass floor wakes you up. Let me
I'm
tell you.
sure. Oh wait, they have glass floor in the Space Needle now.
If you go down one floor below the cafe, there's certain parts where there's glass floor, and I know it's like a foot and a half thick, and I know it's been doing this for 50 years, but I who have jumped out of planes and gone to war was like, I don't know. But but that wakes you up a little. Walking on the glass. Anyway, but there was also a couple of other. There's like this complex of there's like a public garden, and then there's the Museum of Modern Pop Culture, which, as I'm thinking about it now, I'm kicking myself because I bought a stupid
About to
T-shirt
pull up
from
the
there.
photos right
I
now.
should be wearing it. I should have been wearing the T-shirt I bought it because it's very sci-fi. I'll just have to wear it for another podcast. Anyway, we went through and I think at one point it might have been more of a music-focused museum because there's a ton of like music stuff. There was a Hendrix display because he was originally born in Seattle, and then there was a display for the grunge scene in Nirvana. And there's in the middle of this museum is this huge monument made of mostly guitars, hundreds of them, maybe thousands. It's really cool. And every guitar player who I know personally, I've made sure to show those pictures to, and they're all like drooling. But in addition to that, which is awesome, and they have what they call a sound lab where you can go in and play with musical instruments. Seeing as that it is the home of the Seattle Sound and Grunge, I figured it was a missed opportunity that they didn't call it the Sound Garden, but that's just me.
Oh, but they're Australian, so
still though.
I know.
Anyway, they had a wing of sci-fi, a wing of fantasy, and a wing of horror. Now, what you're going to see
There's no particular order to these photos, by the way. This is a haphazard
but
photo
I can tell you
album
what
that I
all
threw
these are.
together. Yeah.
But what I will tell you right here is this one.
We got to go
all
fast,
stuff
by the way.
from the Alien franchise. I think some of these might be from Aliens, and that's the escape pod, and that's the Nostromo. The kids will love it.
The kids will love it.
Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
You're doing a Picard impression here.
I did. I took my hat off.
I don't like to say that. I mean, trust me. But you did that on purpose. You brought that upon yourself.
Oh yeah, but I'd rather be associated with Jean-Luc Picard than Lex Luthor. So we'll keep
that.
That
is also true. That is also
so.
True.
Yeah,
that's
one of the tiny spandex costumes from season 1 and 2. I'm like, oh, that's the suit that almost killed Patrick Stewart,
right? Or at least paralyzed them. I didn't realize that they wore muscle padding underneath until I was an adult, like a couple years ago. It was really just a couple years ago that I realized that they put muscle padding underneath.
Made it.
It was really
HD
see. That did it. Yeah, it really was.
The remastering actually kind of hardcore fucked the next generation.
It really did, dude. I sent you that video from Red Letter Media that showed all the little mix-ups and stuff that the TNG production had that they caught through Blu-ray. That it was really hard to see in standard definition, but you could see it like a sore thumb, like the black paper that they would put on the back of the computer panels to my shoulder here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that was pretty cool seeing that.
Yeah.
It's
probably
kind of
smaller
nice
than you thought it would be, right?
Well, it was raised a little, but I was still small.
Yeah. You're on the Galileo here.
They had this little mock spaceship cockpit, which and it's me. There's actually better pictures, but it have my kid in it. So it's me and my kid. I'm the left side, she's on the right side, and they have some buttons. And there was actually a little, like electron microscope you can look in, like Spock had on the Enterprise, where he would look into the and see. And there was stuff in there that you could change, and some of the buttons worked, and the screens ahead of you, if you changed it, it would change the view out of the view screen. So it was kind of fun to play around and do that just for a few minutes. Mrs. Cavman took some great pictures of that. But obviously I had to crop this down for us. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of neat. It was kind of fun to sit in there, and my kid's like, yeah, cool. It's kind of like we're on the Enterprise. I'm like, more like the Millennium Falcon, but I like where your head is at. All right, so the next one is.
Sorry, hold on.
Boy, isn't this just like the 21st century equivalent of showing everybody your slides from your vacation?
It really is, honestly, because I'm literally texting myself pictures that I can show right after you.
I'll tell you, the full Borg costume from Best of Both Worlds was awesome.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
I mean, this is all authentic shit. This isn't just like there were a few recreations in there. Not gonna lie, but they called it out like this is a recreation, to show what something else looked like next to it or something like that. But that's pretty awesome. I was glad that Star Trek wasn't just kind of feels at times like Star Trek gets kind of like shunted off to the side at times. Maybe because of merchandising versus others, and maybe because of the fan base is older.
Fan base is definitely older. Like, we're the youngest of the fan base.
Which is why a museum would work.
Mm-hmm. I think this is the same Borg setup that I saw in 2006 when I saw the Star Trek thing by the Space Needle.
Yeah.
So
well, this is literally at the foot of the Space Needle, this museum.
Yeah.
So I assume that it's, and of course,
and we almost didn't go. We almost didn't go, and I was willing to let it slide, but I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry, but
no, I get you.
I want to relay the glee that you probably felt by seeing.
Well, we researched this before we went in when we were trying to pick what we were going to do for the day.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Seattle, and
yeah.
And then Mrs. Catman's reading off. Well, this is right by the Space Needle, and
yep.
It's like Museum of Modern Pop Culture. Oh God, was it going to be like Pokemon and slang I don't understand anymore?
No,
and there is.
That's things. Yeah,
let's just say that there's some of that. But then he's like, "Well, there's a Sci-Fi Hall of Fame." I'm like, "Whoa, stop!"
Mm-hmm.
Having a Krieger moment.
My wife also found it was a Star Trek display at the time, owned by a billionaire. He was putting it on display in the same location. I don't know if it was called the Sci-Fi Pop Culture Sci-Fi whatever museum or whatever, but
Museum
it was all
of
Star
Modern
Trek
Pop
stuff.
Culture.
It was all Star Trek stuff at that time. I was sending you photos in real time, like taking them and sending them to you. I was texting them to you. I'm like, holy crap, this is Marina Sirtis's like purple outfit. And it's super small. Look at this thing. That kind of thing.
Well, she wasn't she's not a particularly big woman either.
That was literally your reaction when you texted back to me. That was literally what you said. But I got to crawl through a Jeffries tube. I mean, it was like I almost didn't go because there was like discussion with everyone else, like, oh well, we need to figure out what we need to do for lunch after the Space Needle. My wife had already suggested, she had found this thing, and she goes, well, we need to do this for Pat. And I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I don't need to go. My wife was the one that stood in front of me and said to everyone else, we need to do this. Don't listen to him. He wants to see this. I'm like,
every That's
Goddamn.
how you know
I fucking
you
love
have
you.
married the right woman.
It
Okay?
wasn't. I hadn't.
You get my point.
Oh, that was
We
10
don't need
years
to
ago. It
rehash.
wasn't 20 years ago. It was. So I was married to her at the time. Yes, it was like 11 years ago. So yeah, sorry, but yes,
The proton pack, dude. The
proton packs. Look at that thing, right? I mean, that's like
And-
real
and the
copper
trap.
and shit.
and the ghost trap.
Yeah,
All of them.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, oh, cool, all this great stuff. And then I walked around the corner. I'm like, oh shit, it's a proton pack. Kind of like that. Like not just super nerd DT, but like
Right.
80s kid DT. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
of course.
that'll get you.
By the way,
The Empire Strikes Back snowsuit with Oakley snow goggles, which I owned when I was in Colorado.
I really liked the Rebel Alliance cold weather gear. It was pretty hard looking. It was pretty good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it was hard looking.
It had to
but
really
super
work.
practical.
It had to really work.
Yeah,
Because they were actually cold.
They worked with layers, man. They worked with layers. What can you say?
Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was
exactly.
a lot from Empire. A lot of uniforms, equipment.
Oh,
This is your
not...
guy. That's
yeah.
okay.
Wait, who the fuck is
this? Is actually that's the Takaran who got the
Oh,
whole
the Takaran. That's why you said it was my guy.
Yep.
For the uninitiated, I wrote
Drill.
I don't know, but I wrote a Star Trek kind of universe story where
Fan fiction.
it was not Star Trek, but it was entirely based on what Star Trek.
He wrote the Orville.
It was really the Orville. It was kind of the Orville. It was basically the Orville, different names. And the Endeavor, the Union starship, that the Union starship USS Endeavor,
led by Ted Mercer,
not George McDavis, but still the
I'm pretty sure you invented the last
first name. I've looked up McDavis. It does not exist.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So it still sounds good. I mean, but whatever.
Sure.
So they encountered this super all powerful alien group that was destroying the planet of Alash, and the Elosians. They were Takarans. Anyway, I didn't realize, but about a month before I wrote this episode from Star Trek: The Next Generation came about. Oh, it was a year before. And it came about, and
you probably had seen the rerun, though.
It was the rerun probably ran, yeah. And this guy was a Takaran for that Dr. Crusher episode of the Whodunit murder mystery thing.
Yeah.
So,
as strange as it kind of was, it was also a pretty good Beverly Crusher episode.
She should have been completely thrown in jail for everything she did in the name of finding out who really did it. She broke every goddamn rule. We should do a review of that episode, actually.
Perhaps we shall.
Perhaps we shall. So this is the aftermath. He gets shot through the middle, and Takarans have redundant body parts, so they can actually lose a big portion of their body and still be at 100% functionality.
Yeah, that was interesting. This is in the Hall of Fame. We'll jump back and forth between the Sci-Fi Fantasy Hall of Fame and the halls of sci-fi fantasy. We skipped horror. We walked in for a minute, and I'm like, okay, Jason's, hockey mask, and but my kid's not into horror, and my wife's not into horror, so it's like, okay, we already saw all the alien stuff anyway, and Terminator was in Sci-Fi, so it was like that was about my limit. So, and you can see George Takei in the background. There's actually a video playing that was there. There was little videos going that featured like either people who were in the Hall of Fame or franchises. So there was, it was him and Nichelle Nichols and stuff, probably clearly recorded like 20 years ago, talking about Gene Roddenberry's vision and, a standard, we love the creator, and this is why Star Trek is so significant kind of video. But they rotated a few through. But there's the man, John Williams. How badass do you have to be at your job where you really don't specify a genre and you're still elected into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, music transcends genre, right?
Not only that, but like particularly with like Close Encounters, he nails like the music, the alienness. Exactly. That should have got him into the Hall of Fame on his own, by itself, without E.T. and Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Harry Potter and everything else. Boom.
I haven't heard a good film score since the Avengers, by the way. I have to confess.
Yeah, the Avengers.
And really that was started 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the last incidents we heard of it was in 2019, but it started in 2012. Alan Silvestri. But
yeah.
I am not hearing good film scores. I'm hearing dramatic tones now.
They had good hints of Williams' Superman theme in James Gunn's Superman movie,
but
which was
that
nice.
Was recycled.
No, I well, maybe not film, but The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, they had good scores. Ludwig Göransson rocks. That's why you should see Sinners. He did the music for that.
I do need to see it. I have HBO right now. I need to watch it. I do. I know.
That would be a
Is
good
this
review
the red
coming
dress?
up for Halloween.
Oh yeah. Shit. Maybe
Boom.
I'll talk
There
to
we
our
go.
maybe I'll talk to our friends at shit.
These?
No.
No.
Drawn to Darkness. We'll see.
Cool.
I don't know.
Hey, that is the number 6 dress.
This is the number 6 dress, right?
Guess who pointed it out to me?
Your
Mrs.
wife?
Cavman, because we actually watched
my
Battlestar together. She's like,
"Oh my,
it's the dress from Battlestar." I'm like,
this can't be real.
Shit.
This really didn't fit her this way. There is no woman that has these dimensions unless there's some kind of corset underneath.
Well, as you can see,
obviously you can't see right here. That's a cutout. Those are cutouts. So there was no way they could have hit a corset that way.
It must have been a more spandex material because it was painted on her.
I mean, it was. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, she and
number
Katie
6
Sackhoff,
was pretty amazing.
Yeah, Trisha Helfer and Katie Sackhoff have had really good discussions on Katie's podcast about, the things they did during Battlestar and, like the costumes and stuff like that. It's pretty entertaining.
Did that run for 4 seasons or 5?
I think it was one of those ones where it was like 4.5 or something like that. I think it might have been 5, but
they started splitting seasons.
Oh, it was 4, but it was like in halves. So I think it was 4. Anyway,
season 2 they started splitting in half. Anyway, next slide. Oh, there's George Lucas.
But then look at some of the other names around, right?
Oh, Philip K. Dick. Oh, damn.
Yep.
Who's this guy? Wolf?
Gene Wolfe.
Gene Wolfe. I know.
I think he was one of the. Gene Wolfe, I believe, helped Roddenberry. But there's Dungeons and Dragons.
C.S. Lewis. Okay.
Yep.
Trumbull. Wait a minute. Did the guy from Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad play him?
The reporter?
Yeah. No, the guy he played was the screenwriter. Never mind. Moving on. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas, dun dun dun, Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
Dr. Zayas.
Now, be honest. Did you know that song was based off of Amadeus
Yes.
at all? I did not know when
Not
I
as
first
a
heard that.
kid. As an
Well, I
adult,
mean,
I
that's
learned.
well, yeah, I learned it too. But at the first, you're like thinking, "Wow, this is like interesting." Like, like wow. I mean, it's an original song, so funny, but it's much funnier if you knew that it was based off of a pop song.
Yeah, but there's Dr. Zayas, and then there's you right next to him.
Oh, Rod Serling, not Rod Steiger. Yeah, I know. Oh shit! Do I have?
But clearly Rod Serling deserves to be on this for the Twilight Zone.
Oh, he wrote like most of the episodes.
Bulk of the series.
Basically. Now you're making me do a deep dive because I'm gonna have to like see if I can find that video from.
It's fine. But I mean,
all right, moving on.
But what I love about and that was in the Hall of Fame too. But this is back in the Sci-Fi, so there's a T-800 right there.
Mm-hmm.
The skeleton. It is creepy, especially up close. You're like, ugh.
Very.
Yeah, I could see why an army of those marching towards you would terrify the shit out of you. Hence why the human resistance wore brown pants.
That's this guy knew what he was doing. That's why he wore his brown pants. I totally found the Virginia video, by the way. And I'm gonna have to embarrass myself.
Oh my, yes.
And the fact that I have it. Okay, ready? Hold on. Let me rewind it and I'll share the tab here. Oh. Stop sharing. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. But here we go. This is when I was in 8th grade, everyone. Can you hear it?
Nope.
Can't. Doesn't matter. That's Rod Steiger.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
You actually kind of nailed the Rod Serling look, aside from the hair that keep flopping over, because that wouldn't have flown in the 50s.
And by the way, in the background, I'm going to play this a little bit more. You can see a shadow happening.
Yes, that's your shadow.
No, your shadow right here. Okay. Hold on.
My shadow?
That's going to be a copyright. Nope. God damn it. Hold on.
You got to remember, there's real names in this, meatball.
I know. Here we go. Oh, no. Well. I know. There's going to be a shadow.
I forgot you'd put this on YouTube back in the Wild West. Oh,
I did. That's you. You're telling me to get that out of my hair, out of my face.
Look, we were 12. What do you want from? I was 13, actually.
Yeah, well, what? I mean,
we were older, actually. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, we were like 15 and 16.
No, we were 15.
14 and 15. I don't know, something. I was in 8th grade. I was 15.
There's a couple more pictures in there that you've got to see.
I know. I'm pulling them up. Don't worry.
Terminator was cool, man. It was neat. Like I said, this is what I'm talking about right here.
That's what Donatello.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that it's in as good condition as. Is this from the 3rd movie?
Yes, I believe it was.
That's why it's in such good condition. Okay, because this is not the Brian Henson, or this is not the Henson Workshop suit, and you can see all the lesions on them that made them look like they have a certain condition.
They changed the design a little bit for 2. This was the design. Donatello was a little squatter. Most of the turtles were a little squatter, I think, in the original, but 2 and 3 they were a little. They had a growth spurt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, man, that was. I tell you, I thought the Hendrix exhibit was fascinating. I thought that was cool. I thought checking some of these, some of the other musical exhibits was great because I enjoy music. But dude, when I was walking in there, it was like, oh, look at this. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah. There's a certain glee that hits you, right? Like you can't stop it. Like, and I am not one that wants to like show my colors when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I was like a kid in a candy store going through that Star Trek museum. And look at this shit. Look at this. The different phasers. The first
the
two
Dustbuster.
seasons, the Dustbuster phaser, and then the Type 2 phaser.
And
Geordi's visor. And what the hell is this thing?
I don't remember.
But Geordi's visor right there, which
Hell
is literally
yeah.
a hair clip. So good
but
stuff.
You don't have to
All
take
right.
my word for it.
Right. And then here you are. Dun, 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 which I didn't realize how bright these stripes are on his shoulder shields.
Well, again, Darth's not usually hanging out in the light that much.
No, he's not. No,
his best performances are when the light's not great.
That is also true. That is true. And that is also true. And the captain's chair. Is this the authentic captain's chair?
I think so. It's pretty worn out.
It looks like it. You can see the cushioning here.
Yes. I have been highly encouraged by Mrs. Cavman to plan a trip to Ticonderoga.
What's there? Ticonderoga, New York?
New York, yeah. The recreated Bridge of the Enterprise.
Oh, yeah.
Shatner goes for the last few years. Has gone pretty regularly. There's been pictures of him and Takei and
I know they're pictured in the same room.
Yeah.
Okay.
I must go.
You should. The first Iron Man helmet.
Yes. So that Iron Man helmet had moved. It was in the Hall of Fame next to Stan Lee's exhibit, but they moved it in there for whatever reason. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Rebel helmets
and
models.
There's the suit we saw earlier.
Yeah.
Greedo.
Honestly,
McClunky.
Those hands are McClunky. How the hell was he think he was going to shoot Han Solo?
Uta Kuta Solo. Oh, good Lord. Oh, and then the hand that fell with the lightsaber. That's fucked up. I'm sorry.
Right there.
I didn't mean that.
Right there next to George.
Yep. And he likes appendages falling off. And then there's is this the second Death Star?
I don't know. Honestly, I think it's just a
recreation. A thing to show what's in there.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. I can get with that. Oh, yep. And then the thing from
the alien parasites from Conspiracy.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a superior life form. And the Type 1 phaser.
And the Star Trek 2 communicator from Wrath of Khan.
Wait, that one? Or that one?
No, in the middle. They were huge.
Wait, why would they do that then? Why would they mix them all up? Can't do that.
Don't ask me, man. I was just excited to see them.
I know, right? I mean, you can only you can only be so critical. Oh, and there they are. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing.
I know it was probably a little nerdy to show y'all the slides of my summer vacation. But let me tell you, as a sci-fi fan, to get to go into a museum that was very reverent. Oh, and You didn't even see the fantasy stuff. There was Lord of the Rings stuff. I'm pretty sure I sent you a few of them, but we don't need to dive into it. There's probably 10 more pictures I sent, so don't need to worry about it. So real quick, I'll give you highlights of a couple of really neat things I found. There was a suit from the 1950s Superman show starring George Reeve.
Oh, I would
was
stay up
cool.
late to watch that show.
Yeah, I sent you the picture so you can look at it at your own time. But that was really cool. And then there was oh geez, now I'm hyping it up. I'm like, and I'm forgetting. What a jackass. But that was cool. Interesting things like in the Hall of Fame, you had people like David Bowie was put in the Hall of Fame. You know, his sci-fi fantasy type Labyrinth was like Ziggy Stardust or whatever. Yeah, all the weird stuff that went with him. Ground Control to Major Tom, all that. But you also have like Black Panther, Wonder Woman, Dungeons and Dragons, The Princess Bride. They were all inducted. Star Trek was inducted. Star Wars inducted. All fascinating things, right, as you're looking through these. But when you go into the fantasy zone, they had the lion costume from the Wizard of Oz.
Ooh.
The Cowardly
That was
Lion.
made with real fur and everything.
Yeah, they had some of those guards, from the Witch's
Winky
Castle.
guards.
Yeah.
I only know because I was in the play. And I saw the play in January, which freaked me out because that was the last play I was ever acting in.
Sure.
So it's all the same lines. All the same lines.
So they had a big display of the Wizard of Oz. They had a 1965 paperback of The Fellowship of the Rings.
Damn.
Yeah. There was a bunch of Lord of the Rings weapons, including Aragorn's sword, Sting, Gimli's axe, Gimli's helm, Saruman's staff. They had some creatures from the Dark Crystal. Both the Dark Crystal movie, the Henson movie from the 80s, and the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Netflix show from like 4 years ago.
Were they the ones that went,
No, it wasn't the creepy vultures.
Because nope.
They had the Night King's ice sword and a dragon glass dagger and Robert Baratheon's crown from Game of Thrones. This was just cool. We all got something out of it. They had Ripley's cold weather jacket from Aliens. It was, and a bust of Mary Shelley, who many people associate as the founder of science fiction, which I think is pretty valid, to be honest with you.
It's not far off. It was right around that same time. So
I believe they call her the godmother of science fiction.
Yeah, I mean, H.G. Wells was a little bit after. I think it was during the Maunder Minimum during the 1860s that Mary Shelley experienced it was the middle of the summer and they were in the middle of just a blizzard, and that inspired her with other writers to write the scariest story they could think of, and that's why the Frankenstein story is all based on snow and things like that, because
it was like the 1820s. She was dead by 1851.
Okay, 1820s, yeah, during the Maunder Minimum, yeah.
Yes.
So
Frankenstein, 1818. So yeah, really, H.G. Wells, H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, she was really the godmother. I didn't refute it. I was just trying to figure out when they were all in the late 1800s. She was the beginning. So
you know who else had a very fascinating sci-fi novel? in the late 1800s?
There's a few.
Mark Twain,
What'd he write?
Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what A Kid in King Arthur's Court was based off of.
Sure, yeah.
Ah, that's funny. That's funny.
So, I mean, we think that sci-fi seems more modern, but clearly it has roots. And the Sci-Fi and Fantasy Hall of Fame has a bust of Mary Shelley prominently displayed in there, which is pretty awesome. You literally walk into this like room, like that's separate. It's like in the center column of the whole museum. Yeah, it was cool, man. You get out to Seattle, definitely go through there. I'm sure there's going to be, some of these things will be on rotation, but it was definitely worth the price of admission. I really enjoyed my time. If you look on our Facebook page, fans, you will see I had dropped my video. I walked through the Hall of Fame very quickly and kind of quietly, but I wanted to do that live there. Not so much live, but record there. And it'll be updated to the YouTube page at some point. But dude, it kicked this vacation off to a huge start, right? Then there wasn't, I wouldn't say a ton of real sci-fi type experiences on the rest of the cruise, but I was in Alaska, so I did have to salute the greatest Alaskan in science fiction history,
William T. Riker.
William T. Riker.
Yeah.
That's what I said when we set foot on Sitka, and I recorded a video there, so that was cool.
Yeah.
On a slightly related note, while we flew out, and by the way, here's something I learned. A lot of the newer planes are doing away with TVs, even in the backs of seats. They have plane internal Wi-Fi that you can log in without paying for it and watch free TV and movies on your computers, tablets, and phones.
Yeah.
I haven't flown in like 4 years, 3 years. It's been a long time since I've been on a
It
plane.
has been a rather recent development that they started doing that. I mean,
Right.
they started piloting it about 6 years ago, but not in a lot of planes. Now it's pretty standard, but yeah.
Well, we get in there and we're like, I thought they said there was movies and TV, and then my kid, of course, was the first one to figure it out. And now the back of the plane, and over the headrest where you unlock the little latch for the tray to come down. There's a little tray that flops down, and you can put your phone up there, which was great.
Exactly. That's how I watched most of Terra Nova.
Nice. Very nice.
So
I went on and was trying to, I was looking to see what they had. They had some Star Wars. They had some the Hobbit movies. And I was like, they got an episode of Star Trek or two? It's a 6-hour flight, no Star Trek. But I saw a great documentary from last year or this past year, Superman, the Christopher Reeve story.
Oh yeah, that's on HBO now.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
It really was. I didn't, there was a lot of the struggle and more information about him that I had learned, and the kind of tragedy that befell his family after he died. His wife then passed within 2 years, leaving, like, they had a 14-year-old son.
Yeah.
Both parents gone, And, I had heard, for years you'd heard how close he and Robin Williams were, but there was a lot of discussion about their friendship. And it was, based a lot on their intelligence and their sense of humor, the two of them. And that was a very fascinating story. Of course, interviews with a lot of famous people, along with, because this was produced by his kids. And that was pretty fascinating to watch. It was really good.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. And, it was kind of neat because, like, within 24 hours of watching that, I'm looking at the classic suit from the 50s
Hmm.
TV show.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, I
Yeah,
just
pretty
watched
wild,
that.
right?
It's like,
Yeah.
so got a little bit of sci-fi love there. That was kind of neat. The vacation itself was fantastic. Alaska was gorgeous. We had phenomenal weather. We're sailing up, to Juneau, Sitka, Ketchikan, and the islands, and then in southern Alaska, and the water is just so gorgeous. And you're sailing, and the farther up you go, you're like, oh, there's a lot less people here. The air is clear. There's not as much air traffic. You're sailing on a cruise ship, so it's not like, but you're like, even the ports you go to are small. The capital of Alaska, Juneau, is 32,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's
That
small.
was, it is. It's tiny.
I
A
mean,
neat
so
little
the
city.
town that we grew up in at the time was 50,000 people, you and
Yeah,
I.
it's
The town that
close
I
to that.
later moved to had like a population of 15,000 people.
Yeah.
So the capital of Alaska had the exact population in the middle of those two towns.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, our two towns were 30 minutes apart.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Give or take.
This town is the hometown, our hometown, the one I currently live in, is like 15,000 people more than the capital of Alaska,
Yeah.
But it was pretty.
So.
There were a lot of bald eagles, a lot of whales, sea lions, just as we're sailing, just not even like on the excursions. Like I saw as many whales. I saw more whales from the side of the boat than I did when I paid for the whale watch.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
I mean, we got
And
closer on the whale watch, but
And your family experienced like Alaska pretty well. They enjoyed it. You guys and
loved
you
it.
enjoyed it. Like it
Oh
was
my
a good,
God.
it was a good experience, right?
Dude, you want to talk about a neat experience? We went to a sled dog team training site, a dog sled training site. So they have these training sleds, which are they look kind of like golf carts without an engine. They're being pulled by 15 dogs, and they're just tearing ass through the rainforest up there, and that's the part of Alaska. You're in a temperate rainforest, and it was like 65 in Juneau. We drove 20 minutes up into the woods. It dropped 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Maybe more. It was gorgeous. My God, you took a breath and you're like, what is that? Oh, that's real oxygen.
That's real oxygen. Yeah.
I'm like,
you'll experience that on the oceans and stuff too. But yeah.
Yeah,
no,
being out at sea was good too. But it was so wild.
Yeah.
We
How are the
saw
mosquitoes?
bears.
Not
Didn't
really,
have
huh?
any. It's too
Interesting.
cold.
Good. Interesting. Because
Now,
I've heard horror stories.
In the depth of the summer of Alaska, yeah, you'll get eaten alive. But where we were, and at the time of year, they were all kind of pretty much gone, because it was too cold by then. Once it's in the 60s, higher. When we were in the woods, it was high 40s, low 50s. Like I wore pretty much pants the whole time. Most people don't go on a cruise and wear pants all the time.
No.
I mean, they were all
barely at all.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't going, wasn't like I was wearing full winter gear, but, I was wearing, like long sleeve, Columbia fishing shirts and like hiking pants, light stuff. But, it was, it was nice, man.
Did they have a pool on deck?
Yeah, but I didn't go in it. It's the first cruise I've ever
did
been
a
on.
lot
I
of
didn't
people
go
go
in,
or no?
Yeah, it was mobbed on the pool deck.
Oh,
I
good.
walked through a few times. I just had no interest. My kid went on the water slides a few times. You know what made me happiest? There's a little bar that was kind of built out,
Okay, hold on.
off the side a little, that had a big
Hold on.
glass windows
1 second.
that I could sit out and look at the terrain. That's where I was happiest. My wife and I would go. Our kid would, she's 14, she'd go do whatever, and we go to the bar. We sit out and we could look out at the water. It was gorgeous. I took pictures that looked like postcards, dude.
I'm sure you did, and I believe you in every sense of the manner. Just understand that the happiest that you were at on the cruise was at a bar.
Not the happiest. We did try to go to
You
the
literally said that,
observation.
though. You said
Well-
that, though. I'm giving you an out now.
Sure. So the cruise ship, it's a massive, relatively new one, has what they call the observation lounge. So clearly, the Star Trek fan in me is like, oh, well, we've got to go up and check it out. And it's this beautiful sitting area with it goes like 3/4 of the way around like the front of the boat, right? And it's mobbed the whole time. And it's not just mobbed with people sitting and looking out. It's people having loud conversations and playing dominoes or cards or whatever. And that's fine, but we kind of wanted to sit and look with a little bit of peace and maybe get a drink. Turns out the best place to do this was at the brew house, which, by the way, they had a taps, like, on a cruise ship, there was a mojito bar, there's a whiskey bar, there was a replica of the Cavern bar that the Beatles played in Liverpool, where they were discovered in. There's all these, restaurants or clubs or whatever that happen on these cruise ships. But this little brew pub had, I wouldn't call it, almost a panoramic view on the side of the ship. And it had couches you could sit in, and it was quiet. People would go in there in small groups and chill out. And there was a local Alaskan brewery that had an amber on tap that I found amazing. And I went in pretty much with my wife. She and I went in. We enjoyed it. We would sit there quietly and enjoy the scenery. Yeah, sometimes we did get a balcony, and there was times we would go sit on the balcony too, and it was beautiful because then we really were private. But if we wanted to go out and get a drink or have a snack or something, it was needed.
Yeah.
I found myself staring either off the balcony or out the windows of this boat like Jean-Luc Picard in these contemplative scenes where he's got the cup of Earl Grey looking out of his ready room window.
Right. Yeah. No, I got you.
Or the random Starfleet officer staring out of the observation room, or Cisco staring out of his office. The contemplative captain stance, looking out into the great beyond.
Captain stance. I just didn't want you to end it on those words that I had mentioned previously. So
fair enough.
Good stuff. I'm glad you had a wonderful time. You sound rejuvenated, and I'm happy for you and your family to experience that.
Thank you. We definitely needed that. Did you have a good hiatus?
We had a little quick hiatus myself. So, I had mentioned previously that we'd gone to Tahoe. I've been to the beach, and I mentioned that I saw the UFO at the beach and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't mention previously, though, was that we were going to be heading to Yosemite this previous weekend. Have you ever been?
No.
I grew up.
Our trip to Alaska and the Pacific Northwest is really probably the most non-duty time I've spent out on the West Coast. So that ought to give you something.
Yeah. Yeah. So I grew up expecting never to visit Yosemite ever. Not in my entire life. None.
Say it ain't so, Sam.
Well, that's true. I know Yosemite Sam. Gotcha. And
Once you
that's
saw
fine.
Captain Kirk fall off that mountain, you were like, I'm not going to Yosemite.
That's the funny part, because I've been going to Yosemite for I off and on for the last 23 years. 23 years. More recently, within the last 10 years, every year. And we've been camping since 2014 with the family up until 2022. Took 2023 off, and then last year my wife and I went to Yosemite, and we camped just ourselves. The kids stayed with the grandparents for a couple nights, and then this year we just got off of our Yosemite trip again because we couldn't book a full like 3 or 4 days like we normally could. We were very lucky for a period of 8 years to be able to do what we could do. At one point we booked 5 nights, which is almost unheard of to be able to do. It's been a lot harder lately. I don't know if there's a change in the algorithm or whatnot when it comes to U.S. recreation, but whatever. But my wife was able to secure 2 nights at 2 different campsites within walking distance of each other. So there's a big fire outside of Fresno right now called the Garnet Fire that's happening east of us. And we were a little worried driving in because there was a lot of smoke going through the mountains and everything. And this is what we saw at sunset on the day that we drove in. This is Glacier Point. This is Glacier Point. Like, they used to like burn a bunch of fire throughout the day, and at night they would do what's called the firefall and drop all the ashes down the side of the mountain into Curry Village. And people would watch it. It was a big spectacle. It was gorgeous. Apparently, they stopped that in the 60s.
Why were they burning?
Just to do the show. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they stopped it in the 60s, so 60 years ago. So they haven't done it since. This is Half Dome.
No, they're no longer pouring ash down the ash hole.
No, they're not. They're not. So this is the Merced River. This is Half Dome. Like, we had to walk a little bit of a ways, but we could still see this peak through the trees from our campsite. But I mean, and this river, I mean, the water is well above this in June. Like, this is low. This is low, but that's because it's snow melt. This is our campsite. I mean, I loved this little camper shell. That's why I wanted to show this.
Did you rent that, or do you own
No,
it?
this is not ours. This is our neighbors. But this is our bear box that we put our food in and our fire.
Oh yeah, I saw they not only do they have bear boxes up in Alaska, but they have bear trash cans that look
yes. I don't have a photo of it, but I'm sure it's very similar to what they have in Yosemite and everything. This is taken at like 10 o'clock at night, just looking up from the fire.
Yeah, that was neat. It was kind of neat to see the sun a little later. Even, I mean, it was August here, so it's still fairly light later.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
as far north when we got towards Juneau, that was as far north as we went, and that was substantially farther north than we are here. And it was lighter, a bit later, and
it's weird. It throws you off, doesn't it? Right.
You go out on the balcony at 9 o'clock at night, and you're like, oh, I'm watching the sunset.
Even Seattle is weird when it comes to that stuff, because it's light until like 10:30 at night.
Seattle's kind of weird in general.
At peak summer.
Yeah. There was plenty of weirdness in Seattle, not gonna lie.
No, you're not lying. I know.
I Ubered everywhere there.
This is the full moon pre-eclipse, by the way. It's red because of the smoke coming in from the Garnet Fire.
Okay.
And then this is the full moon here. Again, pre-eclipse. It's not red because of the eclipse. It's red because of the fire. And this is literally at 10:30 at night. This is just how the phone just captures it. That's what we had illuminating us. The next morning, all the smoke blew into the valley. This is still Glacier Point.
Okay,
but super smoky, and that's Half Dome, from a different angle. And that's the Merced River. Oh shit, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Anyway, so
we got to watch the salmon run in Sitka.
nice.
It's very weird watching fish swim upstream.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I have an easier way for you. But they were leaping right out of the water.
Yeah. I'm sure. Well, it's fall, right? So they have to go and spawn, right? So,
correct.
And then the eggs like basically incubate for the winter, and then spring happens. Yay!
Spring is here.
But I'm sure all the bears were out with all the salmon trying to go and jump.
We went on a bear watch, actually.
Yeah,
and we did
a bear
see
watch
a bear
versus a whale watch. Yeah.
Actually, it was a excursion done by the same company. So we went on a boat in the morning, and then later in the late morning, early afternoon, we went on a bus to go see the bears.
Yeah,
it was neat though, because I've seen black bears up here in the wild, and it wasn't even a grizzly. It was a coastal black bear, or excuse me, coastal brown bear, which is big.
But they don't have the hump that the grizzly has.
Yeah, they're not as big as the grizzlies or the Kodiaks, but they're a much bigger bear.
Any bear scares the shit out of me, by the way. I just gotta say, my wife will chase after a black bear, including the koalas. I held a koala, by the way. Shit, I could show that photo if you want me to, but I'm not gonna.
The husky puppy, that was cool.
Aw, huskies are the worst dogs to ever have in your life. unless you're a working man that uses them every day, because then they're good.
I didn't keep it.
Yeah.
Although I was worried that one was going to pop out of my kid's jacket.
I'm sure they're adorable as shit. That's for sure. So that being said, the wife and I had a wonderful time. It was a good 2 days off. We, mostly it was just relaxing, but we brought the bicycles and we rode to Happy Isles and had a nice little picnic. And
so it was just you and the wife?
Hiked up. It was just me and the wife. The kids stayed with the grandparents, and
well, they have school.
Yeah, they've got school. That's the thing. Like, so but we had a really nice time.
I was like, now? Your kids start school earlier than mine.
The kids, I know a lot of, and I don't judge parents for doing it. Trust me. I just, I don't feel comfortable taking my kids out of school for 3 or 4 days.
No, I get you. Especially not when you get to like high school.
Right. And there's a lot of stuff that they're doing. My son, he was out of school for 2 weeks. I'm sorry, not 2 weeks, 2 days. 2 days when he entered into middle school in 7th grade for COVID. And when he got back, he was stressed as fuck because of it.
Yeah.
Trying to do all the makeup work and everything. It's just not a thing that we can. I don't want to put them through that. That's the big thing. So
I feel you. But you
again, no judgment to other parents that have been able to figure it out, by the way. I'd love to know their secrets, but
sometimes it's just what you can handle. Everybody's different. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But so the wife and I had a wonderful time. It was quiet most of the time, and we joked, we laughed. When you have those moments with your spouse, at least with me and my wife, it's really nice to be able to just sit there. And I actually turned to her several times during this moment, and I just said, I appreciate you. You are an amazing woman for you being able to do what you do to put things like this together. And I am so grateful you're in my life. Said it a couple times, and
good.
It's genuine, of course.
Sure.
But I sat there in front of that fire the first night, and I was like, God damn, I've got a really good life. I love it. and I
That's good.
appreciate what I have.
Yeah, I felt very grateful on
Yeah.
this vacation. It was a 5-year bucket list that we've been trying to do since we were planning. This is what we were planning in 2020. We were going to plan.
Right.
Mrs. Kaufman she had a bad feeling about my last deployment in 2020. I deployed before everything flipped on its head. But I was like, well, let's discuss. Why don't we do a big trip when I come back?
Yeah.
All right. You can start working on that. And that's what she did. And we decided on Alaska. I was going to want cooler weather because I was going to be coming back from Saudi Arabia in like May. So I was going to want cooler weather. So that's what we decided to do. And then COVID happened, and then I got sick. And then I had to spend, and then of course the pandemic went on for 18 months.
And that shut everything down.
Right. And then
At least for the first 4 months.
And I spent that entire time fighting for my life and then fighting for retirement. And it got put on hold. And then we finally said this winter, fuck it, we're doing it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Kids getting ready to start high school. We want to do this grand adventure. And it was so worth it. It was cool to go and walk through, parts of Sitka, which was the original Russian capital of Alaska when they owned it. And you see there's an Orthodox church. And then there's salmon swimming upstream right there. And walk into this little private museum and there's totem poles. And then, oh shit, what is that? Oh, it's just a 1,200-pound sea lion fighting with seabirds over salmon.
By the way,
at home.
I just now realized that you actually took your daughter out of school to do this thing.
Nope.
Oh, you didn't?
Nope. Tuesday after Labor Day, first day of school.
That's right. That's right. You went on the last week of summer. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to apologize for shit then.
By the way, too, the weekend before, I only worked Tuesday and Wednesday of the week, right? I was off Monday because I was in New Hampshire with my aunt and uncle in the lake, and that was gorgeous there, too. I spent a lot of time in nature.
Yeah,
a lot of time traveling.
Yeah.
Spent a nice time with family, and then I spent a wonderful time taking my family. And my kid was a little like, can we go to the Bahamas? I'm like, no, you're going to love this. And she loved it. Oh, and here, just to tie it back to us and Sci-Fi and our good friends, these Sci-Fi guys. My kid and I, the last night of the cruise, we go to see this fantastic Beatles tribute band. And we're sitting there, and they basically do a Kahoot.
Oh,
for the audience
they?
while you're waiting.
Nice. Dave, are you listening?
Over 300 people get involved. And
that must be
second
insane.
by 50 points.
You came in second?
Second.
By how many points?
Like 50.
Shit, that means I could have been like in the top 5 then.
My kid was in the top. Like my kid and I were in the top 12, the two of us. But I came in second. I missed it by like.
That's hilarious.
And you got first place got like a gift bag. I just decided to try it. I got all 8 questions. It wasn't Kahoot, but it was a similar system where you got to hit it, and you got to hit it in the time, and the faster you are, the better. And yeah, man, it's like, God damn it. It's like I was so close. I was so close. I'm sorry. I was, and the highest score was 90. It was 6,999 points. I was 6,800 even. Sorry, not 50 points. I was 199 points, right? But everybody was separated. Like the top 3 were separated by 200 apiece, and in that's like 5 seconds, maybe on 2 separate things. But I did a Kahoot, and I almost won. Dave, there is somebody out there who can beat me, just so you know.
It
But it made me think of these sci-fi
happens.
guys.
It happens. It can happen. That's for sure.
I mean, I had my icon was up there at the front, like on the big screen behind the stage. And it
Oh
was the
man.
top 3, and I'm like, God damn it. You're $1 billion cruise industry. Couldn't you do a top 3? But it was
You
just a
can't.
little fun. It was just a little fun thing to keep it entertained. But my competitive
Mhm.
mind kept going in. And as I kept hitting ones and I saw my score rising up, I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this. I jumped from like 5th to like 2nd place. I'm like, I can close it. And I couldn't. I was pissed. One more question. I probably would have been two more questions. I was number 1. I guarantee you.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. That was
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, it was fun. I did that. I did karaoke. We had the cool thing about this cruise line is that they do a fantastic. They treat military and veterans very well, and they had when I went on a cruise 2 years ago, they had been doing this like veteran cocktail hour, and I showed up, and there was like 10, 15 people there on the cruise, and then like supported by some people from cruise, and we all got free drinks. This time I show up because there's another one. They like leave a little, invitation in my room. I go in. There must have been 200 people, veterans, some of their families. It was the day. It was the last day of the cruise. We were kind of at sea, so Mrs. Catman and my kid were just basically packing up their bags. I had already packed mine. I went down. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. They had one of the guys from one of the shows come out and sing. Oh, here you go, Mac. This is for you. We had a performance of Jersey Boys on the ship.
Oh God. Ah, God,
It was
that makes my
really good.
that makes my hernia hurt.
Oh, listening to Frankie Valli? Yeah.
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 And by the way, to everyone, yes, I do have an ongoing hernia. I know it's not medically plausible, but apparently it happens. It's not true.
Yeah. Well, I had a double surgery this year, so welcome to your 40s, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm just kidding, by the way. I don't have a hernia, but
well, it was pretty cool, man. I'm not the biggest musical fan, but I did want to see this one. Since they were doing it, I'm like, yeah, I like Frankie Valli's music.
That would be
I mean,
very
they were doing
entertaining, exceedingly entertaining.
It's a really fun show. It was funny, it was poignant, and the music was fantastic. Like these guys were really good. And then one of the main actors comes out at this veteran thing and sings the national anthem, and he goes, "Oh, and by the way, I spent 4 years in the U.S. Army."
Boom!
Like, yeah. It's like it was cool. I sat and talked with a few veterans. Was talking with some old Vietnam vets. I was talking with a couple of this Air Force vet. We both joined the military around the same time. Both ended up having to retire early for medical disability. We're sitting there comparing, and we're like the same age, and we're comparing. What's your disability rating?
Yeah.
Oh, really? You too? Oh, okay.
Yeah, pulling up your leg and pulling back the pants just to see the. I know
this isn't the scene from Jaws.
That's exactly what went through my head, though.
No, we ended up. Some of us, we stayed so long having fun talking to other vets. They're like, okay, we got to clean this place. And of course, it was cocktail it was 11 in the morning. So they're like drinking you champagne and shit. So like, all right. So a few of us went over to the little brew house to continue and have a talk. I didn't stay all day. It was supposed to be 45 minutes. I stayed about an hour and 20, a little longer, but I was enjoying the company of fellow veterans. It was cool. And I got to tell you, folks, those in the U.S. and even those not, there were plenty of people from around the world who were exploring Alaska and Canada, where we went. So enjoy the Great White North, because you're not technically in the Great White North.
No,
That's Central Alaska. That's Northern Alaska. Central and
yeah,
Northern Alaska.
I would be very happy to experience some of those national parks, but I don't have the physical wherewithal to be able to pull that off. It would be
Fair
fun
enough.
though. I do want to end the show on a couple things.
Sure.
You know, it's been a rough couple of days. We're not going to go too much into it, but
You're out of focus, my friend.
I know I'm out of focus. I can't help it. It's just going to happen. So
I
this is
believe
my first
Bigfoot
book.
is blurry. I think the
Yeah, I
scariest
know.
part is that there's a large, out of focus monster wandering around.
I know. All right, can I
Mitch
get closer?
Hedberg reference.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyway,
That was his joke.
I want to read a couple excerpts, one from this book and one from my second book. This is Changeling Chronicles Chrysalis. You know, the big thing about my writing is, you know, actually, this is fantasy. I've never been much of a fantasy person, but for some reason, when I was hit with the writing bug back in 2009, I just immediately wanted to focus on Irish folklore. But it wasn't Irish folklore that I wanted to really focus on, other than the fact that, I mean, I had not experienced a good Irish folklore movie or book or anything since Darby O'Gill and the Little People. And that was in the 50s. Everything else was just trash. Anyway, I wrote this book 12 years ago. And I focus on a lot of themes, like trying to come back from the biggest loss you've ever experienced, you know, a second chance. I really focus on love, not just between like a couple, but like, you know, through family and understanding you're never going to be truly alone as long as you open yourself up to other people. And I want to read this, and then I want to read another thing from my second book that I think are important that I want everyone to take away from here. So, DT, if you don't mind, it's gonna take a moment. I'm gonna forego the accents. By the way, I could do them, but it's just not gonna be a thing. So, context is not that important. It's just the message. Anyway, Declan laughed despite himself. You're far too hard on yourself. He stooped down and grabbed a handful of black sand, the breeze picking up just a bit. It may seem to you that with such power you should have everything under control, that if you do it just right, nothing bad will happen. Well, shouldn't it be that way? Shouldn't I strive to do everything right? I asked. Of course you should, lad. You should strive to give the best of everything you possibly can, but it doesn't mean that everything goes the way you will want. He held out his fistful of sand. Take, for example, this. My task was simple enough. It was to grab a handful. Now answer me this. With your increased abilities, does it make a difference in picking up a handful of sand? I picked up a handful for good measure. Several grains streamed out of my fist and whipped off into the wind. No, I said, as I held it the same way. Did you notice that you couldn't pick up all the grains you intended as you stood up? I saw the final loose grains blow off into the distance and disappear into the rest of the black shoreline. Yes, but what does that matter? He smiled and let his hand free, sending the sand off on its own. My point is, you seem to do a fine job picking up that handful. In fact, there was no way that you could have done it better. But despite all your best intentions and skill, there were still grains that escaped your grasp. You couldn't get them all, and that is life, lad. The sooner you can come to grips with it, the sooner you will be able to appreciate what you have. I looked at him for a long moment. There was no anger nor resentment that shone in his face. He was right. I thought, looking down on my own fist. To further his point, I squeezed as hard as I could to prevent the wind from taking any more from my grasp. But it only allowed some grains to break through and just to be carried away in the wind. You can do everything right, You can plan everything to a capital T. You can even hit that baseball with all the precision needed to send it out of the park, but sometimes there were just some things outside of your control. I wish it didn't have to be that way, I said. Declan chuckled as he wiped his hands free of residual sand. If wishes were horses, lad, beggars would ride. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way and is something we all have to live with and get by. But remember, even though we fail, it does not mean we've lost until you surrender. That is the key. Failure can bring new opportunity, while surrendering is entirely up to you. Big
Beautiful,
point of the
Mack.
first book.
Beautiful.
I
also noticed you struggled to not put an accent in when Declan was speaking.
I would put a little flourish in, you know, but a full Irish accent I refrain from.
Best not to do so.
I know they don't like the Irish accent, and that's okay.
As they shouldn't.
As they shouldn't.
Nobody likes a Boston accent.
The
either.
best, yeah.
Anyway, a very lovely sentiment, and I appreciate you sharing it.
So that's a little lesson that's part of my first book. The second book is a message of hope that I want to give to everyone. That's the big priority of the second book, and it's near the end. I'm not giving anything away.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
No. It got a lot colder on that rooftop, despite the beaming sun. To ward off the chill, I brought my knees up to my chin, wrapped my arms around my legs. The news was debilitating. Sure, a moment ago, Jessica was missing and not herself, but at least I thought she was just some nomad wandering the countryside, getting into misfit situations. That scenario was infinitely easier to find a solution to rather than the reality before us. The likelihood of failure now was just so much greater. Shuddering, I said softly, Maylee, when did everything go so wrong? She was quiet for a moment, hearing the pain, the tired weariness in my voice. A moment later, she placed her head on my shoulder, a minor gesture, but a show of support. Her signature heat from being a scion started to push back some of that chill. That's a good question with no good answer. Maybe it went wrong when you and I were here last that awful April night. Maybe it went wrong when your parents decided to send you to Ireland. Or when the baseball broke that guy's nose. Maybe it went wrong. Maybe it went wrong when the spell to banish them wasn't strong enough to keep them in Tir Nanog. It could have been when my ancestors lost their way and in turn forgot their responsibilities. The history turned into legend, which then turned into myth. Hell, maybe it went wrong because King Brian didn't effectively just talk to Mael when it became clear that he was disenfranchised and feeling neglected. We both laughed, a short laugh at the image of those two doing something so psychologically modern in the Dark Ages. The point is, she said, it probably went wrong every one of those times and built up until all those wrongs couldn't be ignored anymore. Now we are the ones that have to handle the sins of so many generations. I sighed. It's an unfair world out there. At that, I saw two other young kids collapse on the lawn and begin to roll across it, trying to race. Such simple delights made me long for the days when I lived in such same obscurity. Maylee hummed her agreement. That's why we hold on to the people we can trust. It's a way to hold back those injustices. It can be done, so long as we are together. Together we give ourselves meaning in a cruel and directionless world. And we sat together in the sun once more. It was a moment to relish. Not just so that the weather was good, but because it was probably going to be a long time before such peace would come again. I think the biggest thing I want to take away here is, everyone, life doesn't have its own meaning. You're the creator of that meaning. So, in that regard, I'm going to tell you to find your own meaning, settle down, find love, find the ones that love you, have a family, treat them well, because they will give you the greatest, most wonderful experiences of your life just by being there, just because you're loved. And on that note,
Jesus Christ.
On that note, everybody, I'm P.S. McKay. Until the next time, so long.
I'm DT Cavman, and thank you all for listening to our ramblings, our foibles. We're kicking off year 4 with a flourish, and we look forward to having you guys around with us. You guys are our family. The sci-fi community has treated us well, and it's good to have you here. So I hope you stick around with us as we venture forward into this new year for us here at the Sci-Fi. God damn it. Those sci-fi guys.
Those sci-fi guys.
We're those sci-fi guys.
We were here kind of first, but
we are those sci-fi guys. We appreciate elsewhere, but thank you for everything. And as I said, I'm DT Cavman. Enjoy your time. Tune in next time, and we'll see you on the high ground.
Those Sci-Fi Guys is an independent broadcast by Alpha Site Productions, produced by DT Cabman and PS McKay. Ocean by Music by Aiden under Creative Commons license. For more information on upcoming episodes, follow PS McKay on X at PS McKay or go to thosesci-fi-guys.com for past episode information. You can now find us on Spotify, so head on over there for our latest episodes, but don't worry, you can still find us on Apple. We're also live on Rumble, and you can find us on YouTube for live video podcasts and Facebook, so be sure to leave a like and a comment and let us know how we're doing.